Once the crown jewel of the Middle East, Dubai sold the world a dream. A desert transformed into a playground for the rich. A place where fortunes were made overnight. Where gold was currency, skyscrapers scraped the heavens, and every fantasy could be bought. But beneath the shine, the cracks are spreading. Debt is mounting, projects are collapsing, and the illusion is fading fast. This is the truth they never wanted you to know. The fall of Sin City has already begun. And it all starts with the forgotten treasures left to rot in the desert sun. Supercars in the sun, dreams left to rot. In a city built on speed, wealth, and status, some of the world's rarest supercars sit abandoned under the scorching desert sun. Ferraris, Lamborghinis, Bugattis, their engines silent, their exteriors dulled by sandstorms and time. Their owners? Gone. Vanished. Each supercar tells the same story. Fortunes made in days, then lost in moments. A businessman unable to pay debts. An investor whose gamble didn't pay off. In Dubai's high-stakes economy, a single misstep can unravel everything. And when the debts pile up, many flee the city overnight to escape the harsh penalties. Millions of dollars in metal now rusting in the heat. But if luxury cars can be left to decay, what does that say about Dubai's most fragile luxury of all? Water? Miracle Garden, a flower in the desert, paid in gold. In the middle of a barren desert, the world's largest flower garden blooms. It's a tourist dream, a kaleidoscope of colors spreading across 72,000 square meters. The Miracle Garden is a marvel of engineering, but behind the beauty lies a staggering cost. Every petal is kept alive by an ocean of desalinated water. Millions of liters pumped daily at an unimaginable expense. The energy required to sustain this garden is immense, and in a region where water scarcity is a looming crisis, it raises difficult questions. How long can beauty like this survive? At what cost to the environment? In Dubai, even nature feels artificial. Even beauty comes with a price tag. Camel Racing 2.0, robots replace the past. Camel racing, once a proud tradition of the Arabian Peninsula, has undergone a futuristic transformation. In the past, this sport relied on child jockeys, a practice that drew international criticism due to its exploitation and brutality. Today, the child jockeys have been replaced by tiny robot riders, controlled remotely by camel owners. It's a bizarre sight. Camels galloping across the sands, their robot jockeys bouncing on their backs. This reinvention keeps the tradition alive, but it also symbolizes something larger, a city that constantly reinvents its past to sell its future. While tourists cheer for the races, the truth about who really lives and works in Dubai paints a far less glamorous picture. The population illusion, a city without roots. Dubai is a city of transients. Beneath its glittering towers lies a startling truth. Fewer than 15% of the people living in Dubai are actual Emirati citizens. The rest, millions of migrant workers, are on temporary contracts. These workers are the lifeblood of Dubai, building its skyscrapers, running its hotels, and keeping the city running. But they are forever outsiders, tied to a system that can end their stay at a moment's notice. They build the city, they run it, yet they will never belong to it. And even the spaces meant to welcome everyone are starting to show cracks. Dubai Mall, shopping for a future. The Dubai Mall isn't just a mall, it's a monument to consumption. It's a small city in itself, boasting over 1,200 shops, an Olympic-sized ice rink, an indoor aquarium, and even a place to buy gold bars. But beyond its endless corridors of luxury, whispers of trouble are growing. Vacant storefronts hint at a retail market struggling to keep up with Dubai's relentless pace of expansion. The mall is a symbol of Dubai's ambition, but it's also a warning. What happens when the dream of endless consumption collides with reality? Burj Khalifa, a tower above, cracks below. The Burj Khalifa, the tallest building in the world, is Dubai's ultimate statement of power. Rising over 2,700 feet into the sky, it's a marvel of engineering and an icon of ambition. But inside, entire floors remain empty, and the district surrounding it struggles to fill its spaces. The higher the tower rises, the deeper its shadows grow. The Burj Khalifa may stand tall, but it represents the precarious nature of Dubai's economy. How much higher can the city climb before it collapses under its own weight? Islands in the sea, sinking dreams. Dubai's artificial islands, like Palm Jumeirah and the World, are marvels of human ingenuity. They were designed to redefine luxury living, offering private villas and resorts surrounded by the azure waters of the Arabian Gulf. But the sea is patient, and the sand is shifting. Erosion is eating away at these islands faster than they can be repaired. Some parts of the world remain incomplete, abandoned by investors who pulled out after the global financial crisis. The ocean doesn't care about engineering marvels. It simply reclaims what was never meant to be. Tax-free temptation, the hidden price of paradise. Dubai's tax-free promise is one of its biggest draws. No income tax means more money in your pocket, as long as you have a job. But this comes with a hidden cost. No job means no rights, no safety net, no future. Expats who lose their jobs often have just weeks to find new employment or leave the country. There's no unemployment insurance, no welfare system, and no way to stay without a visa. For many, Dubai's promise of paradise comes with a ticking clock. The beginning of the end? Vacant skyscrapers, stalled megaprojects, rising debt. Dubai's glittering empire still stands, but the cracks are growing too large to ignore. Once a barren desert, it rose like a phoenix, fueled by speed, ambition, and an appetite for risk that the world had rarely seen. Towering skyscrapers, artificial islands, and the promise of limitless luxury transformed Dubai into a global icon. A modern-day Atlantis built not on water, but on dreams. Yet, beneath the shimmering skyline and gold-plated facade lies a fragile foundation, one that threatens to crumble under its own weight. Dubai's meteoric rise wasn't just a story of wealth, it was a story of audacity. An oil-rich emirate with its reserves dwindling, Dubai gambled everything on reinvention. It pivoted from oil to tourism, real estate, and finance with jaw-dropping speed. The world watched in awe as it unveiled record-breaking skyscrapers like the Burj Khalifa, man-made wonders like the Palm Jumeirah, and an endless parade of luxury developments. It wasn't just a city, it was a brand, selling the ultimate dream of opulence, innovation, and endless possibility. But every dream comes with a price. The cracks in Dubai's empire are no longer whispers. They are becoming impossible to ignore. The glittering city was built on borrowed time and borrowed money. Its real estate market, once a beacon of prosperity, now shows signs of stagnation. Towers stand empty, unfinished projects the horizon, and property prices have been on a downward spiral for years. The oversupply of luxury developments has created a market that can't seem to catch up with its own ambitions. And it's not just the real estate bubble. Dubai's economy is deeply intertwined with global trends, making it highly vulnerable to external shocks. The COVID-19 pandemic brought the city to its knees, with tourism, one of its primary economic drivers, grinding to a halt. Thousands of expatriates, who make up almost 90% of Dubai's population, packed their bags and left as jobs disappeared, leaving behind a city that suddenly felt eerily empty. But perhaps the most troubling cracks lie beneath the surface, where Dubai's human cost remains hidden in plain sight. The city's construction boom was built on the backs of millions of migrant workers, many of whom endure grueling conditions for meager pay. Stories of exploitation, mistreatment, and modern-day indentured servitude tarnish the city's image as a utopia of wealth and progress. Behind every glittering skyscraper lies a story of sacrifice and suffering that Dubai would rather you ignore. The question is no longer if Dubai will fall. The question is how far it will sink. Will the desert reclaim its mirage? Or will Dubai, as it has done before, reinvent itself once again? History suggests that Dubai thrives on reinvention. When oil reserves began to run dry, it pivoted to tourism and real estate. When the 2008 financial crisis brought it to the brink of collapse, it clawed its way back through bold investments and global partnerships. But with each reinvention, the stakes grow higher. Dubai's future now hinges on its ability to adapt to a rapidly changing world, one where sustainability, transparency, and economic diversification are no longer optional but necessary. What happens next? Dubai's story is one of breathtaking ambition, dazzling triumphs, and unsettling truths. It's a city that sold the world a dream, but but every dream has its price. Can Dubai continue to defy the odds, or will its glittering empire become a cautionary tale of unchecked ambition? The answers lie in the decisions Dubai makes today. Will it focus on building a more sustainable economy, one that prioritizes innovation over excess? Will it address the human cost of its rapid rise, ensuring that its workers are treated with dignity and fairness? Or will it double down on its pursuit of grandeur, ignoring the cracks until they become impossible to fix? Dubai is at a crossroads. Its story is far from over, but the path it chooses will define its legacy. Will it be remembered as a city that pushed the boundaries of possibility, or as a mirage that faded back into the desert? If this story opened your eyes, share it. Talk about it. Because no city is perfect, but every city must be honest. Dubai may still shine, but behind the gold lies a story they don't want you to see. Subscribe for more untold stories from around the world, because sometimes the truth is the most valuable treasure of all.